All right, boys and girls, I want to talk to you about some common text features today. Text features, we've talked about these before. It's what you use, the visual clues, to help you understand your nonfiction, your informational reading. You can have text features in fiction books as well, but I rely on them heavily when I read informational books. So I want to talk to you about some common ones. I don't have headings up here, and you know headings are one of my favorite text features. They're bigger print, there's usually darker print, and it lots of times will tell you the main idea of what you're going to be reading about. So it kind of like says, hey, here's what you're going to learn, and then it explains it in more detail. Hey, here's what you're going to learn, and then explains it. I really like headings, and I don't skip over those when I'm previewing a text. Text features are one of the things that we've talked about in our power previews that you need to make sure that you are using to help prepare your mind. So let's talk about a photograph. That simply helps the reader see what something looks like. If the author, they may choose to put in a photograph, not just to interest you, because they're like, hey, you may not be able to picture this, so I want you to be able to. That's why you would choose a photograph. A caption. Those are the words written underneath a photograph, an illustration, a diagram. It's not enough to just put something visual there. There are words to explain it. So when you have a photograph or illustration or a diagram, look for the caption underneath to give you a short sentence about what you are looking at. Maps. Maps are important because it's important for you to understand where you are compared to what you're reading about. Maybe you're reading about the wildfires. Maybe you're reading about endangered animals. You want to make sure that you understand where you are in the world compared to what is happening. So when you're looking at the maps, you of course want to read the caption underneath it, but you want to find where you are, where the United States is, where Pennsylvania is, and then go ahead and look at where the action is of your informational book. An index. We don't use these a lot because a lot of the informational books you guys read are shorter books. But when you get into a bigger informational text, you're going to rely on this. An index is something that is found at the back of a book, and it has a list of topics and page numbers. For example, I have that huge guided reading book that I use as a reference. But if I want to teach kids how to use visualizing as a strategy in reading, I'm not going to read all 478 pages of that book. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip to the index. I'm going to look in the alphabetical index and look for the word visualizing or reading strategies. And when I find the page numbers that those are on, I'm only going to read those pages of the book. It really helps me narrow my focus and know what it is exactly that I want to be learning. A glossary. It's an alphabetical list in the back of the book where they define important words. Don't skip a glossary in your power preview. A power preview will show you there's a glossary in the back and show you all the words that the author thinks. These may be new to you, and these are words that you need to understand in order to understand this topic. That's why an author would choose to have a glossary. They're trying to say, hey, this is learning you may need, so let me put that all in one spot. Bold print, that's obviously where they're just making it darker and drawing your attention to important things that might be in a text. And then lastly, they're going to be labels. So when you are looking at a picture or a photograph, an illustration, a diagram, make sure you look at all the words so you can understand exactly what it is you're looking at. You're going to practice this today.